Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. It is the desk live on your screen, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and today, as usual, we would be looking at some major stories from the national daily. What are the stories that made the headline for today? What's in the fall for Nigerians to look at? We're going to be doing a little discussion of those headlines as far as time would permit us. We'll take as many of the headlines from different papers as possible, especially the issue of defection. More defection dilemma still hitting some parties, and we will also look at that. What is responsible for this defection? Apart from that, we will also look at other issues on the national daily today. I have two gentlemen joining me on the conversation today, and I will let them to you immediately after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Of course, joining me on the conversation is Comrade James Ezema. He is a political and public affairs analyst. It's good to have you join us on the desk this evening.
Thank you very much, and good to be here today again.
Well, that breath spells a whole lot, meaning so much will be going out on the program this evening. And of course, I also have Abdurrahman right here. And before I actually introduce him, I want you to know that we are all in the same business today. But then I think it's of importance for us to know that Abdurrahman Liagan is the managing editor of Time Nigeria magazine. It's good to have you join us on the program, Abdurrahman.
Thank you, and good afternoon, viewers.
All right, let's get into the conversation. One of the stories that actually caught my attention is the issue of defection that is rocking different parties. Some people may be thinking that it's the People's Democratic Party alone that people are defecting from, but that's not true. People are defecting from other parties too, including the Labour Party and other parties. But then, as it is, Taraba, Plateau, and Adamawa governors, all right, are already having defection dilemma. What do you think about defection by governors?
Well, for me, defection by the governors is not new. So we have since the advent of democracy in 1999, we have had the governors defect. So defection has become part of Nigeria's political dilemma, and it's unfortunate that we are playing a politics where people lack principle. There's no direction. All what we see is political patronage here and there. So, and if you see that your party is not in the position to give you certain access, it becomes a problem. You want to defect. You want to go to where the meal has been cooked, and then so that you can continue to have access, to whatever that is on the table. Because defection is now a meal ticket for a lot of people, and then also it's also a means of protection. So if you want to be protected by the powers that be, you cannot, since you cannot beat them, you now join them, and that is what we are seeing in our politics, and it has always been like that. This is they will not be the first or the last. We have seen people defect from their political party. After a while, they defect back to the party where they defected from, so that is, it has become part of our political, and we call it our political culture. Our political culture now has accommodated defection as part of the norms, that we have to live with. So I'm not surprised that people are defecting. More, we even defect in coming days, because we never knew that people, some of these governors that are talking, especially the Plateau governor, the Adamawa governors, they are talking about they having this temptation to go to the APC. So it is going to be good. We are going to see it at how it's going to turn out at the end of the day. But let's wait and see. And the drama is just unfolding. So we'll wait and see.
All right. Let me get to Abdurrahman. So a lot of Nigerians are saying we are tilting towards a one-party system, but then the dilemma of the Taraba, Plateau, and Adamawa governors, are you seeing it as something that is possible? Are you surprised? And can we say this is somehow a pathway to one-party system?
Yeah, as my colleague rightly said, that when democracy is, let me say, Nigeria democracy, we don't have what we call democratic principle. There is no maybe direction that our democracy is actually facing. It is just where those the actors in politics, where they believe their interest can be realized, where their goals can be achieved. So it is not new that governors are defecting from one party to another. Not even only governor, even senators, House of Representatives, not even, as you rightly said also, not even only PDP, LP defecting. You discover that even ABGA, some group of ABGA in Anambra, they were looking towards APC. And you remember that our president said during the, I think, October 1st, during his speech that that even if PDP governors, if they are coming to join APC, that it will be to his advantage or to the party's advantage. You equally discover that some of these governors, as much as they wanted to join the APC, some other factors in APC are equally hindering some of them coming to join the APC. And it is about their interest, not about people's interest, not about the state, because you come to think of it, what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve as a governor that you cannot achieve within your party? If actually you are credible, if actually you answer the name that brought you to that position in the first place. And most of them, to me, they don't have something to campaign on, and that is why they see the ruling party as an abode where they can achieve their aim again. And if you look at them, most of them are first-time governor that they want at all costs to secure the second tenure. And just like my colleague rightly said, yeah, even during the Jonathan time, PDP had up to like maybe 24 to 25 governors, yet the opposition party then still defeated the ruling party as a result of defecting here and defecting there. It just shows that our democracy is like we are still growing. we have not yet gotten to a point where our democracy has been institutionalized, or we are practicing a democracy of principle. So that is just what I can say.
Oh, all right. Let me get to, because this issue of defection is something that we can't finish talking about in just a few minutes. Now, let me get to James. For 16 years, PDP was in power from 1999. Okay, we are all aware of that. But as we speak, a party of that caliber losing its membership in 36 states, PDP can only boast of 8 states governors, just 8 governors in 36 states. So what does that speak to you? Is that just to tell Nigerians that political practice in Nigeria, as it is being alleged, does not have ideology?
Well, beyond the issue of ideology, you see, political parties in Nigeria has become a weapon that politicians are using, against the people and the electorate. And how do I mean? You see, when politicians feel that they are not performing, rather than submit themselves to the electorate, they are looking for easy way out. They are looking for a popular platform that will deliver them either by hook or by crook. So, and that is the reason why you see that most of these political parties, they are like flower by the daytime, and by evening they have withered away. And that is what we are experiencing with the PDP at the moment. PDP had at a point that even the then opposition, the ACN that time, was actually crying that the PDP is going to become a one-party. They were afraid of a one-party state. They are afraid of a one-party system. And Nigeria today, we are seeing the opposite, because the APC now, which is a part of ACN and other political parties that merged in 2014, 2015 to form what we have today as APC, they are now enjoying the same thing that they complained about when PDP was in the dominance. But it is not as if that will be the end of it. One day another political party will take dominance and the cycle will continue until such a time that we have grown to a point of political being ideologically involved in political party business. Because as it is today, there are no clear-cut political ideology in Nigeria. Most of the people who you find in politics are not there because they want to see through any form of ideology. What they are there to do is that they want to find out if that particular platform can give them access to power and then access to our commonwealth, so that because if once you have access to power, you will be able to have the needed authority to balkanize and distribute our commonwealth as you wish. And that is one of the major reasons you will see some of these individuals who call themselves politicians, and they are moving from one political to the other, at every point in time, because they have one agenda or the other, to be able to execute. If you can't get it here, you go to the other place and get it. And then you whip up sentiment here, you leave the place. And there are some political parties, some politicians, that have gone from one political party to another. After going round the political parties, they now came back to their own political party, to their original political party where they started the journey. And there's a particular politician who have moved from PDP to APC, back to PDP, now to another political party. And that is what you are seeing today. So it is a ideology, because the ideology divide is not there. No, there's no ideology divide as to warrant anybody saying I'm sticking to this ideology, either to the left wing or to the right wing. There is nothing like that. There is no clear-cut ideology. Our politics is based on access to power and the conspiracy and the gang-ups to take up power once you have found out that you are no longer in the mainstream of the political activities. And that is what we have been seeing, and that is what we will continue to see until that time when Nigerians will be ready to deal with the issues that are troubling us. And that issue that is troubling us is because of lack of transparency in the electoral process. And that is why somebody can easily jump from one party to the other at his own convenience, irrespective of what the electorates are thinking.
Okay, I think that's a punch for me, irrespective of what the electorates are thinking. But then, what does this speak of the People's Democratic Party? Are we going to? Is there going to come a time that we won't have the People's Democratic Party anymore?
Because I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's governance.
The PDP has been entrenched and established. It may not be possible to come to a time when you have no party called the People's Democratic Party, or unless they decide to change their name. But as it is today, I believe that the PDP is established well enough, at the grassroots level to be sustained as a political party. The only challenge we have is that political parties on their own are no longer they can't decide who won election, on their own, maybe either by their own manifesto or by the manifesto of their candidate. Who decide? It is now the courts and the INEC that decides who wins election. So that is why we have the problem we are having. This problem will continue to persist until the day that we have decided as a people to create a system that will ensure transparent election. Because if the electorate, the power is back to the people, not the power back to the people of the PDP, but I'm talking of power being returned back to the electorate, who should be the ones to decide, who is their, who should be their leader. They will vote, and their vote will be counted, and their vote will count. At that moment, we will begin to see that some of these jumpologists that are in our political terrain, they will begin to settle down, because they will know that the electorates who decided to vote them today, if they leave them and go away, they will vote them out, or rather they will even recall them, like as it's because they say that the people vote for the party and not the candidate, and that is the law as at today. So until we change that law, we cannot be talking about an individual jumping from one party and carrying the mandate of one political party to another. And that is something that we have to deal with, and deal with it as soon as possible. And then the politicians on their own part should begin to rethink about the future of the country, not just about what they do today and how they can be able to access this our commonwealth and share amongst themselves. So that is just how it is. We should begin to think about how to do things differently as a country by not just mounted electoral reforms, but electoral reforms that are practical and that are practicable.
All right, Abdurrahman, do you see this defection weakening the strength of the People's Democratic Party as it has to do with competing with APC in 2027 as the real opposition? Why do you have to laugh first?
From the background you push out, you say that the party, the Nigerian democracy is being, tilted towards a one-party system. A party that once boasted to have up to 27 states is reduced to 8 states. Even from that 8 states, we are looking at the 3 states that are talking here and there with the ruling party. So the strength that the governing party is withering is becoming too much for the major opposition party to bear. To the credit of APC today, they are boasting up to 27 or 26 or 27 states. So there is no way that such development wouldn't have been weakening the major opposition party. The only thing is that even those that are jumping from one party to the other, if you equally look at them critically, you discover that they might left with no options, because the crisis that is rocking the People's Democratic Party today is not, unless we want to look elsewhere, it is overwhelming. It is because as of today, the party, even the national secretary of the party, is not in tandem with the BOT of the party, board of the trustee of the party. So how do you think they can gather their muscle together to confront the ruling party? So it is going to be a kind of a daydream, because for them, how many days or how many months would they have to come together as a party to even settle the crisis within? First, to be able to even face the big lion that is facing them from the left, right, front and back. So PDP as a party, yeah, they ruled for 16 years. Even then, they boasted that they were going to rule for 50 years. But today, the story has changed. And that is what we call cyclical theory, of life. Whatever that goes around, comes around. At a point, they are boasting as the biggest party in Africa. Today, the story is not the same. It is only better for People's Democratic Party to come together. And I am even looking at it that if it's not becoming too late, to come together and resolve the crisis within, so that, yeah, they may not even be looking at winning election again. Because if you look at the trajectory of the present president, he remained constant as an opposition party until 2014, 2015, when the likes mind came together to form a formidable force to wrestle power with the ruling party then. So if People's Democratic Party can equally look inward, call those, first and foremost, settle the crisis within, then they begin to look outward, those who have defected, how they can begin to talk to them so that they can bring them back. The point is that they may not have that muscle or that capacity to bring those that have defected to the ruling party into the party again, but they can still maintain their formidable force or forces as a major opposition party, so that if 2027 election, by calculation, if it has gone, they can regroup and give a good fight, maybe in 2031, so that it will save Nigerian democracy and it will equally save the future of the party. But if they are conceding to the challenges, the crisis within the party and the challenges posed by the APC, it is not going to go down well with PDP, because just like a former Senate president was saying, that it is not going to go down well with the People's Democratic Party if it is the major party that has representative at all 777 wards of this country. So if the like of that party continue to face challenges, and it is natural. You can face challenges, but how are you prepared to surmount it should be the next line of action. Challenges will come, but how prepared are you?
But even PDP is preparing. Their convention is coming up in Oyo, and of course, they are also thinking about zoning. Don't you think that is strategic enough?
Yes, it is strategic enough, but it is equally not enough. The reason is that if you look at it, Seyi Makinde is holding to his own faction. Wike is holding to his own faction within the same party that is facing this much crisis. So that is not a strategy. Because before you can say you are coming up with a strategy that can win 2027 election, you must come together as one formidable team. Because there is no winner in a losing team, and there is no loser in a winning team. So they say. So it is better for them to first settle the internal crisis that is bedeviling the party, because you cannot see, as a politician, every politician wants to win an election, either the electorate like it or not. The interest is there, is to win an election, and the moment they are not seeing that coming from their party, they look elsewhere. That is why PDP is like a troubling water. So, and it is better for them to come together, settle their internal crisis, and to then look how to face the bigger challenges come 2027.
All right, bigger challenges come 2027. We're talking about challenges here. But then how big is the challenge? The challenge is so big for me, if you ask me. But the People's Democratic Party will tell you we are trying our best. There was a BOT meeting that I attended, and what they were saying is, well, everything has been settled and all of that. The issue of Turaki actually raised dust, but then I think we're waiting for what will happen from the convention, which is coming up. The date has been set, it was shifted, it's been set again. Let's see if it's going to hold. Because if it holds, it's going to go a long way, making a whole lot of things go on very well. But now let's move away from there and go a little bit to Anambra State, where the by-election is going to be happening in a very shortest moment of time. What are we talking about here? As it is, it's obvious that Amopitan will be having his first litmus test for in that election. Even the president, while he was speaking, said after his confirmation by the National Assembly, the president said, well, the Anambra election is going to be his litmus test. And he said, what should be done is to ensure elections in Nigeria is free and fair. That's not the first time we're hearing such counsel from people in authority, especially leaders who actually appointed people into positions. Now, Amopitan in the National Daily today gave Nigerians the confidence that vote buying, which is one of the things that has eaten deeply into the fabrics of our election in Nigeria, that has made a lot of people complain of elections not being free and fair. Amopitan, on his own part, have said, well, vote buying for Anambra election, it won't be a decider at all. So it's going to be a no. So now, let's talk about this. What do you make of this statement? Because number one, I know what you'll be telling me is we've heard this times without number from a lot of people who have been there. I know that's what James is going to tell me. But beyond that, this is a man, see, look at his pedigree. This is a legal practitioner, and he's a son, a professor. So he's somehow someone that have seen a lot of happenings as it has to do with trustworthiness, integrity, and of course putting Nigeria in the good image around the world. So what do you think about this statement? Vote buying won't decide Anambra's election, according to Amopitan, the newly appointed INEC chairman.
as a journalist, I've covered a number of elections. And
Before, not this by-election, I'm sure.
no, yeah. You see, this off-cycle election that we have now in Anambra, we had it. In fact, I covered the off-cycle election in 2017, and that was the very first time I saw an entrenched vote buying.
So you've even witnessed it before.
It is so entrenched that, you see, there are people they call canvassers. These canvassers are people who carry their bags of money. They will come. See, the thing has gotten to a point that, do you know, in Anambra State, what they will ask you is, okay, how much is APC giving? How much is PDP giving? How much is
So it's more like a business.
How much?
The highest
They
bidder.
know who is giving the highest, and that's the person that will get the vote. So that is how bad it has become. I don't know the kind of. That's why I'm laughing. I don't know the kind of way means that will be devised by this new INEC chairman to ensure that there's no the vote buying is not a decider as far as who wins the Anambra State governorship election on November 8th is concerned. I can tell you that Anambra State election has gotten to the point that vote buying has become part and parcel of that electoral process in that state. So Anambra is not like any other state. Is a state that vote buying the vote buying actually graduated from there into every other part of the country, and they have their own.
So vote buying actually started from Anambra State. Is that what you're saying?
They may not start from Anambra, but we had it mature. You know, in
Okay,
Anambra
it
State.
matured in Anambra
matured
State.
in Anambra State and became part and parcel.
Green white hair in Anambra State.
And became part and parcel of the political norm.
But can it be tackled?
It can be tackled if the electoral umpire is actually prepared to do so. And he's not just going to do so by mouthing it. It has to be in collaboration with security agencies. And security agencies have to be people who are not biased. If the security agencies are biased, that's when it will become another issue, because it could when you start to stop some other persons while the other people are allowed to do their buying and selling of goods, then it become a problem. It could lead to riots, it could lead to all kinds of things. So, but if the security agencies are ready to work and ensure that nobody is allowed to carry bag to go to near the polling units in the name of canvassing and all kinds of nomenclature that they give to those people who are into the trading of votes, then that's when we can say, yes, we are now coming to having coming to an end of it, or even minimizing it. But as it is today, the other time the governor was talking about how, you know, he will settle some people who won their polling units, and talking about the amount for this person, the amount for that. If you're a ward chairman, if you are this,
Meaning if you sell votes,
so
and you deliver so is it by
that's
vote
a
buying?
reward. That's a reward. That's an open vote buying. It was you're already bargaining. The body language is already there, and that is not only him. That's how all the candidates are going to.
So what's going to be the implication of that encouragement? Because it will be bad if someone vying for a particular position is telling them how, okay, if you deliver, this is how much I'm going to give you. What is the implication of such
The
statements?
implication is that you are just encouraging them, go and make sure you get it by hook or by crook. All I need is for you to deliver me. Just deliver me and you get your money. So some of them will go and source money because they already know how much that is coming for them. So in order for them to be able to deliver, they didn't have had the money that has been voted for, you know, the voucher will be cleared at the office of the governor. That is what it is. Otherwise, what else are you going to be telling? Why should you be telling people how much you are going to give them if they won election? Now, it is only in Nigeria that's where that kind of message can be passed as a campaign message. You cannot be coming out, you can't come out and start telling people that they should deliver you. That should be even something that you can discuss at your caucus level in the political party, not even at the general party political party rally of even within your own party, not to talk of where you are talking to the rest of the people everywhere in the world listening to you, and you are talking about how much you are going to give somebody who delivered his polling unit. How do you deliver polling unit if not by vote buying?
All right. Is Amopitan capable, all right, of stopping vote buying in Anambra State? Because this is going to be a litmus test. If he can do it in Anambra State, where James have alleged that is where vote buying grew horns and became very, very mature and escalated to other parts of the country. Do you think vote buying can be stopped by Amopitan?
Yeah, if I tell you that vote buying can be stopped by the new INEC chairman, honestly, it's laughable. The reason is that in the history of Nigerian election, there has never been any election that you can totally rule out vote buying.
But it can be minimized.
It can be minimized, and we would even would have been expecting that the present governor of Anambra, looking at the new INEC commission, chairman coming, to even push something forward that can even place him like a true Democrat. And I can tell you, the former governor of CBN is a man of figure. He's not a politician. It's just by chances that he got to that position. And you discover that he practicalized it. He said it that when you deliver your local government, you are getting so amount. That is transactional. Contract and agreement. If you do this, you get this. So now, what left for those people, the actors on field now, is to now begin to look at how they are going to source for money to prosecute that election, get the result, and get their bargaining promise. So for Amopitan to stop vote buying, I can equally say it would have been possible if the security agents can cooperate with INEC. That we can know that, yeah, INEC can actually stop vote buying. But in a situation whereby the security, because it is not Amopitan that will be going after politicians, begin to monitoring them where they are carrying their bags to. And today, technology has equally made things so simple that you don't even need to carry any bag before you get what you want to buy. You order some products and you get it. It can equally, that kind of system can equally be deployed in this Anambra election. He has even made the amount of money, and he charged them with a certain responsibility that if you can deliver your polling booth, you get this amount. So you don't even need to carry bag again. It's just for the actors to look for a way to rally around their people and give them their promises, and deliver on the day of election, and they get their package. So, but it would have been better if Amopitan can actually demonstrate that level of integrity and pedigree. Because if you look at his credential, you discover that, yeah, he's a lawyer, and it's not ordinary lawyer, it's a reputable one. So if that's all these arsenals, all these credentials can be brought together and engage the security agents that we want to stop this, I call it nonsense. Because when you use money to buy votes, what it means is that you have bought the affairs of that state for the next 4 years. Then if I ask you, how much can it be sufficed for a 4 years tenure of a governor? If I don't even think that 100 million naira is enough to buy that conscience, because there are so many challenges that we are faced in this country, not even in Anambra State, so that somebody will be saying that when you deliver a particular polling booth, you get this. If he's able to pay them and they deliver, those people, they should just know that they have sold their mandate. Whatever the governor is doing for his second term, they have no right to challenge him. That is one reason why the Anambarian, they have to come together to say a stop to this vote buying. Yeah, people are hungry and people will be forced to collect money to vote. Just like in Ekiti State, at a particular point in time, where there was a clip that was played out, where somebody was asking, how much do they give you there? And the person said so amount. He said, no, we are going to so. So it has become a transactional thing. So that when you buy, it's like they want to sell and you want to buy. Okay. You have the capacity to buy and they have the capacity to sell. But they should think of the implication of selling their vote. Because this man is going for his second term. And if he gets it, nobody can question him. Whatever, either the policy is reeling out, is going down well with the electorate or not. They have paid for that vote, and they don't have anything to have.
I think this is a massive awareness creation for everyone watching the desk right now, because it is just like mortgaging someone's destiny. But now we will go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and the conversation continues on the desk. Stay with us. Amopitan has pledged commitment to ensure there is no vote buying in the Anambra election that is coming. It's an off-cycle election that is coming up in Anambra State. And of course, according to Amopitan, he said vote buying won't decide Anambra election. We saw how it happened in other states. The analysts in the studio have given instances. James said he was part of it. Not that he was part of vote buying, but he has gone to at least monitor an election, and he saw how it was being done, how some people were even being promised. Even Abdurrahman too talked about the fact that, well, was in Ekiti also where a video came out where people were saying, how much were you giving here? All right, that's small. Let me check this other place out and all of that. That's to tell you that vote buying did not just start today. Will it come to an end in this off-cycle election coming in Anambra State, which is going to be a litmus test for Amopitan, who just got in as the newest INEC chairman? Now, James, before we move to the next topic, who is to be blamed as far as vote buying is concerned?
Well, hunger. Hunger is what is to be blamed. You know, over time, poverty has become a weapon that those in government have continued to use to make people to dance to their tune. And that is why you see that the disappearance of the middle class in the country is one of the greatest disservice our political elite have done for this country. You know, the middle class, once the middle class disappears, you discover that that economy is finished, because the middle class, they are the ones that sustain economy anywhere in the world. And then in Nigeria today, if you are not a big man, you cannot feed. Unless you are one of the big men, that's when you can think of eating 3 square meals a day. Otherwise, there's no middle class, there's no people in the middle that you can say these are the people that you can that can sustain the rest of them who are down there. So it is between the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich. And that is what the kind of trajectory we have seen in this part of the world. And that is very dangerous for economic survival. It's very dangerous for the people. Let me tell you one thing. You see, a hungry man, they say, is an angry man. But I will tell you that a hungry man does not reason well. A hungry man is a man that does not reason properly. So you cannot say that somebody is hungry. You say you should be thinking about tomorrow, thinking about 4 years. What does he have to do with 4 years when he has not eaten? It's just like the biblical Esau, who was too hungry to wait for anything that is called a birthright. He said, no, what is the use of birthright to a dead person? And that is what we are talking about. What is the use of a 4 years of development to somebody who is hungry and is about to die?
Meaning you don't consent to what Abdurrahman said about the fact that the people have to be careful and just be mindful about the next 4 years.
Yes, I agree with him. That is what is supposed to be. But we're talking about practicability. In practical terms, can these people endure? How many people can endure? Because the thing is getting, the moment you think that the situation is getting better, it will get worse. And that is what we have found, or that's where we have found ourselves today. Today, we are in a country where you are not sure that you are going to eat the next meal. You are not sure. Even if you are a salary earner, you discover that before the end of the month, you're already borrowing. You're already borrowing to be able to feed. We're talking about eating, to feed, to shelter yourself, and to clothe. These are the basic things that an average Nigerian is struggling very seriously to achieve. So that's what once you pay school fees, pay your house rent, and then you are able to take maybe two meals a day, you are a big man in Nigeria today. And that's the danger that is before us. And it will get a point that you will see that these people that you call the masses will eventually get to the point where they are so pressed that they wouldn't know what to do again, but they will want a situation to say, okay, if we die, we die. If we survive, we survive. And it is something that we should not pray that the situation will get to that.
All right. It is something that we shouldn't pray the situation gets to that level. Right now, we want to look at something. You know, the both of you talked about the fact that governors are actors as it has to do with vote buying in Nigeria. That's the confirmation, because you talked about the fact that Anambra State, the governor will promise this is what you will get. All right. if this and this and this is being done. Same thing, he concurred and gave instances to talking about Abdurrahman. Now, let's get to see some of the reasons. What are the reasons why governors, whether or not they are taking so much from the federal government's allocation, don't do anything at their various offices? About 4 trillion naira is about to be going down again, additional to what is going to the state governors coming from the tax reform. Now, remember, subsidy was removed by this administration on assuming office, and the dividends, of course, the money realized from the subsidy removal, we were being made to understand, and some governors have actually come out to say, yes, this money is coming. But Nigerians seems not to be seeing what this money is being used for. Now, more is about going still to the state governors. What do you think, all right, should be done? Subsidy money going to the governors? This one, 4 trillion naira yearly from VAT reform, about to hit the account of the states, which, of course, the custodian of the state will be the one in charge. So what do you think? What do you think about this?
Yeah, you see, during this 2023 election in my state, which is Kwara State, I was challenging a chief press secretary to the present governor that, can you provide us with your manifesto, the one you want to use to run that election, and equally challenge him on a particular platform that I give you a week or 2 to provide that manifesto. Till the election time came and gone, he couldn't present it.
But they still won.
They won. So, one, some of them, they don't have business in governance or in government, so to say. It is just an opportunity where they discover that they can come in because of amount of resources they've gathered, and they are ready to throw into that system. And they believe, just like we are talking about vote buying, it is believed in Nigeria today that if you have so much money, you win any election in any state. Because even right from the primary, they whip money into it to get it. And when they get that ticket and they bring another phase of money to win that election, without minding the fact that winning an election is just one phase. Now, campaign promises that you've promised the people that you are going to do this, you are going to do this, in that one is even when a particular candidate presented his manifesto that they can hold him on to, or in a situation whereby there is no manifesto, there is no program placed before the electorate, and they still won that election. So how do you now think that the electorate can question them, can hold them to whatever they promise in a situation whereby there was no promises? So this is the same dilemma. Federal government continue to pump more money to the states, and this money, there is no commensurate development in Nigerian states today, and nobody is asking question. The electorate are not asking question. Just like my colleague rightly said, that they have weaponized poverty.
Well, I think
to an extent that you, a common man, they don't even know what they are doing. They don't even know what they are thinking again to even challenge their leaders.
Unfortunately, our time is up. We can't continue the conversation, but then we will still come on this platform to talk about this. James, there are so much to talk about on the desk, sure. And I will be hosting the both of you again. Just keep your fingers crossed. Everyone out there, this is where we will bring the desk to a close. Let's see what will happen from the aspect of the off-cycle election in Anambra State. Then, of course, Hamupiton has made a statement. And the first conversation, the People's Democratic Party. Let's see what will happen. Will this defection affect them in 2027? And of course, the last discussion was about so much money going to the state government's coffer, and nothing is being seen in response or in return by the electorate. We'll come on your way again with the desk. So many thanks for joining us, James.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Abdurrahman.
It is my pleasure here.
All right, this is the size of the conversation. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Many thanks for joining us on the desk. Bye-bye for now.